Nigel Jenkins was an Anglo-Welsh poet. He was an editor, journalist, psychogeographer, broadcaster and writer of creative non-fiction, as well as being a lecturer at Swansea University and director of the creative writing program there. Early life. Jenkins was born on 20 July 1949 in Rhysowainwilliams, Wales, and was brought up on a farm on the former Kilvra estate on the Gower Peninsula, near Swansea. He was educated at the University of Essex. Career. Jenkins first came to prominence as one of the Welsh Arts Council's 3 young Anglo-Welsh poets. In 1976, he was given an Eric Gregory Award by the Society of Authors. Jenkins would go on to publish several collections of poetry over the course of his life, including, in 2002, the first ever haiku collection from a Welsh publisher. His poetry has been translated into French, German, Hungarian, Dutch and Russian, and his translations of modern Welsh poetry have appeared in numerous magazines and anthologies worldwide, including the Blood Axe Anthology of Modern Welsh Poetry. In 1998, the Russian journal Literatura Inostrania published a selection of his poems, translated into Russian, for a feature on his work. He also composed poetry for public places, executed in stone, steel, neon, glass and other materials, in response to commissions from various public bodies. A former newspaper journalist, Jenkins was an accomplished writer of prose. In 1996, he won the Wales Book of the Year prize for his travel book Gwalia in Kashmir, the story of the Welsh Calvinistic Methodists' mission to the Khasi Hills in northeast India. Jenkins also edited an accompanying anthology of poetry and prose from the Khasi Hills, entitled Kashmir in Gwalia. In 2001, Goma Press published a selection of his essays and articles as Footsore on the Frontier, and, in 2008, Real Swansea, the first of his 3 contributions to Seren's series of psychogeographic guidebooks, was released to much acclaim. A second volume was published in 2012, followed by a third posthumous volume in 2014, completing an unintended trilogy. During his career, Jenkins proved himself to be a proficient editor, lending his keen editorial eye to a number of prominent projects and publications, including the Welsh Academy Encyclopedia of Wales, published by the University of Wales Press in 2008. A highly respected pioneer of the haiku in Wales, he also co-edited the country's first ever national anthology of haiku poetry, Another Country, in 2011. Jenkins was a lecturer on Swansea University's creative and media writing program and, at the time of his death, lived in Mumbles, Swansea. Death. Jenkins died in the Tylwyn Hospice in Swansea on 28 January 2014, aged 64, following a short illness. His funeral was held at St. Mary's Church, Penard, on the morning of 10 February 2014. With the church at capacity, the ceremony was relayed by audio link up to hundreds of mourners gathered in the nearby community hall. Jenkins was then buried in the graveyard of St. Mary's, the same resting place as fellow poets Vernon Watkins and Harry Webb. Publications, radio and television scripts, presentation. Fields of Praise for Kaleidoscope, BBC Radio 4, May 1987. Gwalia yn Gymnasia, a 3-part documentary series for S4C, March, April 1994. TV Ballads, At Home, BBC Wales, 1995, and BBC Two, 1996. Gwalia in Kashmir, a 1-hour documentary for BBC Wales. Cardoma Boys, about Dylan Thomas and his fellow Swansea artists, in the BBC Wales Catalyst series, September 97. Prizes. 1998 John Tripp Spoken Poetry Award, 1996 Wales Book of the Year for Gwalia in Kashmir. 1991 – John Morgan Writing Award. 1976 – Eric Gregory Award. 1974 – Welsh Arts Council's Young Poets Prize. 2 Welsh Arts Council bursaries.